In late 2025, the internet started buzzing with a story that felt like the moment humanity had been waiting for. A signal, supposedly picked up by NASA, was beaming out of deep space. But this wasn't just any old signal, and it wasn't coming from just anywhere. The source was a mysterious traveler, a visitor from another star system called Comet 3I/ATLAS. And the signal, or so the story went, had a pattern, a structure. It was a signal that, according to the whispers, simply shouldn't exist in nature. Theories caught fire. Was it a distress call, a beacon, or was it what so many of us have secretly hoped for, a message? But what if I told you the most incredible part of this story isn't the alien signal, but the truth that NASA's own data reveals? The official findings tell a story that's way more fascinating than any fiction. So, let's separate the cosmic facts from the interstellar fiction. Before we even get to the alleged signal, we need to talk about the object at the center of this cosmic drama. Because even without any mysterious messages, Comet 3I/ATLAS is one of the most exciting things to happen in astronomy this decade. On July 1st, 2025, a NASA-funded telescope in Chile, part of the ATLAS project, which stands for Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, spotted something new. Astronomers crunched the numbers on its trajectory and realized this was no ordinary comet. It was moving at a staggering speed of about 137,000 miles per hour, or 61 kilometers per second. Its path wasn't a closed loop around our sun, but a hyperbola, a dead giveaway that it wasn't gravitationally tied to our solar system. In other words, it was a tourist, an interstellar visitor. This was only the third confirmed interstellar object ever seen passing through our neighborhood, after the infamous Oumuamua in 2017 and 2I/Borisov in 2019. The scientific community was ecstatic. Here was a pristine sample from another star system, delivered right to our cosmic doorstep. It was a chance to study the building blocks of another planetary system without ever leaving home. Every major telescope, from Hubble to the James Webb, turned its eye to get a look at this rare wanderer. This was a genuine cosmic mystery long before anyone started talking about alien signals. So where did this story about a signal even come from? It all started as 3I/ATLAS began its journey through our solar system, making its closest pass to the Sun on October 30th, 2025. That's when the viral narrative really took off. The stories popping up on social media and forums were tantalizingly specific. They claimed a repeating radio signal had been detected. Some said it was broadcasting on a frequency of 1420 megahertz, the hydrogen line, a famous frequency that astronomers have long theorized would be a perfect channel for interstellar communication since hydrogen is everywhere. Others claimed the signal wasn't constant, but that it pulsed in a pattern tracing the Fibonacci sequence, a mathematical pattern found in nature, sure, but if you were to broadcast it intentionally, it would be a clear sign of intelligence. These weren't just vague rumors. They were detailed, compelling stories that expertly mixed real science with sensational claims. The narrative was powerful because it taps into that deep-seated human desire to know that we are not alone. It played on the very real excitement around 3I/ATLAS and twisted it into something more. The idea that this interstellar visitor wasn't just a rock, but a probe, a piece of alien tech, was just too good for most people to ignore. But in science, a good story just isn't enough. You need data. So as these claims were swirling, the world's top scientific institutions were already watching. Their mission was simple: find out what 3I/ATLAS was really made of. The investigation was a global effort. NASA was on the front line, assigning a whole fleet of spacecraft to observe the comet. This included orbiters at Mars, which got a close look as the comet zipped by on October 3rd, and even the Perseverance rover, which tried to spot it in the Martian night sky. Now here's a crucial detail. As the comet swung around the sun in late October, it became totally invisible to telescopes on Earth, lost in the sun's blinding glare. This was a critical time. If this thing was an alien probe, this would be the perfect moment to pull a maneuver. But we weren't flying blind. NASA's Parker Solar Probe, a spacecraft literally designed to fly through the sun's atmosphere, was in the perfect position to watch the whole thing. And then, of course, there was the question of the signal itself. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence, SETI, isn't just science fiction. Groups like the Breakthrough Listen Initiative use some of the most sensitive radio telescopes on the planet for this exact purpose. They also turned their powerful ears toward 3I/ATLAS, waiting for it to get close enough for the best possible listening opportunity. The stage was set for a reality check. From October 18th to November 5th, while the comet was hidden from us here on Earth, the Parker Solar Probe had a front-row seat. Its whisper instrument snapped about 10 images a day, giving humanity its first-ever sustained close-up look at an interstellar comet rounding the sun. When the images started coming back to Earth, they were breathtaking, but they didn't show an alien spaceship. They showed a comet. The pictures revealed a bright nucleus, the solid core, surrounded by a glowing cloud of gas and dust called a coma. Even more spectacular, they showed jets of material streaming away from the comet's core. This is all perfectly normal for a comet. As it gets close to the sun, the intense heat turns its icy surface directly into gas, a process called sublimation, which erupts in jets that throw dust and gas into space. This is what creates the beautiful coma and tail we always associate with comets. So what about that signal? Well, the Meerkat radio telescope in South Africa did detect a radio signal connected to the comet, which, as you can imagine, caused an online frenzy. But the truth is a little more scientific. What they detected wasn't a broadcast, it was an absorption line. As the sun's radiation broke down water vapor erupting from the comet, it created a cloud of hydroxyl molecules, OH. These molecules absorbed a very specific narrow frequency of radio waves coming from stars behind them, leaving a tiny, dark gap in the radio spectrum. This is a well-known, natural phenomenon. In fact, it's one of the main ways astronomers confirm a comet is releasing water. So, far from being a sign of alien tech, this signal was actually the nail in the coffin. It was definitive proof that 3I/ATLAS was behaving exactly like a natural, water-rich comet. Before we get to the final verdict and how this incredible story was born, if you're enjoying this journey into the facts behind the fiction, take a moment to subscribe. Our mission here is to explore the universe's greatest mysteries with a skeptical eye and a whole lot of wonder. Hit that button so you don't miss what we uncover next. On November 19th, 2025, NASA held a press conference to share its findings. The speculation had gotten so out of hand that they needed to set the record straight. Associate Administrator Amit Kshatriya put it bluntly. It looks and behaves like a comet, and all evidence points to it being a comet. But this one came from outside the solar system, which makes it fascinating, exciting, and scientifically very important. The great alien signal story of 2025 was a myth. It was a perfect storm, really. A modern legend born from a kernel of truth and amplified by the internet. The truth was the existence of a genuinely fascinating interstellar object. The fiction was the addition of a mysterious artificial signal. The two were blended so well that the story became irresistible. The tale of the signal from 3I/ATLAS wasn't a scientific discovery. It was a cosmic campfire story for the internet age. It showed just how eager we all are to find proof that we're not alone. But in the end, the data from NASA and radio observatories around the world was unanimous. There were no structured pulses. There was no message. There was only the natural, chaotic activity of an ancient, icy wanderer, heating up as it made its first and last pass through our home system. We started with the sensational story of a signal that shouldn't exist, but what we ended up with is a truth that, in its own way, is just as profound. Comet 3I/ATLAS wasn't an alien messenger, but it was a messenger. It carried with it the chemical secrets of its birthplace, a star system light years away. By studying the gases in its coma, like water and carbon dioxide, scientists can learn about the chemistry in other parts of our galaxy. This gives us clues about whether the building blocks of life are common throughout the cosmos. The data gathered from its flyby, especially from the Parker Solar Probe, will be picked apart for years and will offer unprecedented insights. So while 3I/ATLAS didn't say hello, it did leave us with a gift, a piece of another world to study, and a powerful reminder that the universe is filled with real, natural wonders that are every bit as awe-inspiring as the fictions we imagine. The search for life goes on, but 3I/ATLAS has now faded back into the darkness of interstellar space, its brief, fiery encounter with our sun now just a memory. What do you believe is the most compelling, real mystery in our universe? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And for more deep dives that separate science from speculation, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. Thanks for watching.